Okay friends, it's time to get started on replacing our Upstream O2 sensor. If you were to make your way underneath the front of the vehicle, you're going to find your exhaust. Make sure it's cool to the touch. You don't want to work around this if it's burning hot. Now looking at the exhaust, you're going to want to try to find the O2 sensor that's closest to the engine. This one's very close. If you were to follow this way a little bit further, past the catalytic converter, you're going to find your downstream O2 sensor. That's a separate video. It's approximately the same process. Let's make our way back up here. All right, so to get started on removing this, we're going to go ahead and follow the wiring all the way up to this area. You're going to find that there's an area that the wiring goes into the side of the transmission. Use some long nose pliers, grip onto the two ears, and then slide it up and out of position. Okay. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find where the wire goes through this bracket. I'll just carefully slide it out through there. Now I'm just going to try to pull the wiring down far enough that I can access that gray connector. On the gray connector, you're going to find that it has a tab to squeeze. Once you squeeze it, go ahead and separate the two. After you have it separated, go ahead and take a peek. If you see any funny colors, it's probably corrosion, and that would need to be dealt with. There we are. There's the tab. Double check both sides. It's very important. Now we can start removing the O2 sensor from the exhaust. To remove this, you want to use something that's known as an O2 sensor socket. It's going to fit right over, and it has a slot for the wiring to go through. I'll go ahead and slide this on here. We'll use our 3/8 drive ratchet and go ahead and break it free. There it is, friends. Now, once you have your original O2 sensor out of there, go ahead and give the pipe a quick inspection. You want to make sure the threaded area isn't damaged in any way. If it looks like it's rusted, rotted, or even cross-threaded in any way, that's something you want to make sure you take care of. Now, assuming that looks fine, let's continue with our installation of the brand new Upstream O2 sensor. Before you go ahead and connect any of the wiring, go ahead and take this and screw it in by hand. Once you have it in there, go ahead and snug it up. Essentially, you want to twist it until it feels as though it stops, and that should be tight enough. Okay, so right there it feels as though it bottomed out. Just make sure it's snug. That feels good. Now I'm going to make my way up with my pick. I'll carefully grab onto the wiring, bring it down to a working position. Now we can start sliding in the connector. You want to make sure that you have the push tab lined up with the push tab hole. Let's go ahead and squeeze that in. Listen for a click. Give it a tug to make sure it's completely secured. Now I'll use my angled pick. I'm just going to go ahead and press this up and above the transmission. Now I'll continue lining up the wiring harness with its corresponding hole in the transmission there. Make sure that's completely secured. Now we're going to take the wire and put it through its plastic retainer as well. Should want to slide right in there. Now the last thing you want to do is ensure that there isn't any wiring hanging down. We don't want anything to get caught, so all I'm going to do is take the slack and I'll push it up in there. If you wanted to, you can continue on also with some wire ties of some sort, just to make sure that it's completely secured. This looks good. Now the last thing you want to do is carefully get out from underneath the vehicle. Go ahead and start it up. Make sure you don't have a check engine light. Assuming it's good, take it for a road test. Thanks for watching.